Hi, welcome to another episode of the Just in Time Web Show. We are so excited you could join us today, and we're bringing to you a discussion on a very special topic during this holiday season, and that is how to make those holidays special for you and your family, and particularly how to help the children that you care for, your foster children, how to make it special for them and help them to deal with the holiday times, which could be sometimes very difficult for them. But first of all, I've got a few announcements I wanted to bring to you. We have recently posted a training video on our website, which is www.jitfl.com, and that stands for justintimeflorida.com. And that training video was How to Deal with Defiant Children by Jim West. It's a fantastic training video. I hope you'll take a look at that. Gives lots of tips and techniques on dealing with defiance and oppositional defiance disorder, and just tips in general to helping with behaviors with your children in your home. Also, we have an upcoming webcast that we hope you can join us for, and that is a life skills training on nutrition. And we're going to get tips and techniques on everything from how to help those children in your home make good nutritional choices, looking at the labels on the things you're purchasing, making smart buying choices when you're selecting food items. So I hope you can join us for that. That's going to be on December the 17th at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And without further ado, I'd like to introduce our guest today, and he is Dr. John DeGarmo, and he's a foster parent, and he's an author, and he's done some books and a lot of training and columns related to foster care, and he's got a lot of experience in dealing with foster children himself during the holidays. So welcome, Dr. John.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me. It's a wonderful opportunity. I appreciate it.
Well, we're so excited you could be with us. And you know, the holidays are crazy for us as parents, and they're difficult, but yet they're a time we look forward to. They're supposed to be joyful and exciting and full of traditions, but sometimes for the kids in our home, they can be very, very difficult times. And I think it would be great if we could help some foster parents to be able to work with their children in their home and just to make these times special.
Absolutely, absolutely. You know, the holidays can be a time of conflicting emotions for children in foster care. It can be a time of great joy. It can also be a time of great sorrow. You know, I've been fostering myself for 12 years now. I've had a number of kids come to my home. In fact, right now I have 9 children in my home. As we prepare for Christmas, I have 9 children. So you can imagine the line of stockings going across our chimney right now at home. But when a child is taken from his home, from his mother, his father, his brothers, his sisters, his family, his bedroom, his stuffed animals, his toys, his neighbors, his friends, everything he's known, and placed into a strange home with strange people, that's bad enough. That is traumatic enough. But the holidays can trigger even more trauma, because when a child is surrounded by people who are celebrating a family time, this child is going to probably remember that he is not with his family. So it can be a very, very difficult time for these children.
Right, so the holidays themselves just trigger a lot of emotions for them, probably, like you said, just realizing I'm not going to be at home with my family, and just even missing maybe some of the traditions and things that they did with their families. Absolutely,
absolutely. The children we have right now, we have 3. I have 3 biological children. I have 3 adoptive children from foster care, and I have 3 foster children. And the foster children right now are going through a myriad of emotions as we approach the Thanksgiving, the Christmas, the New Year's times. They are seeing my own children become very, very excited because they know what to expect. These foster children, they don't know what to expect. All they know is this, that they are in a home with strangers during a time that is a celebratory time, and they are not home with their own birth family members. And that's very difficult for all involved.
Mm-hmm. So how do you help prepare the foster children in advance of the holidays, knowing that, we're coming up on the season and it is going to trigger these, this sadness and these emotions and different feelings they're going to have about missing their family?
Well, I'm glad you asked. There's a number of things you can do. First of all, you really need to kind of find out what your foster child has, what kind of traditions they have in their own home. Now, if you're celebrating Christmas, you're celebrating Hanukkah, you're celebrating Kwanzaa, whatever you may be celebrating in your own home, there's a chance that your foster child has not experienced that as well. So this can be a completely new experience for them. So the first thing you want to do is you want to kind of try to figure out what they have done during this time. Do they have their own traditions? Do they have their own celebrations? Do they have their own beliefs? And then after you find out what those beliefs and those traditions are in their home, in their past, you explain to your child what you do in your home, what the traditions are in your home, what the beliefs are in your home, how you celebrate that particular holiday. And then you try to take some of his traditions and beliefs and try to place them within your own. You try to merge the two so he does not feel left out. Because if you are celebrating Christmas and he's celebrating Hanukkah, or he's celebrating nothing at all, you want to try to bring some of what his beliefs and traditions are into your own family time, so he doesn't feel so ostracized, so lost, so alone.
Well, that's a good point. Do you typically do that with all of the children together? Do you have like a family conversation, or do you do it one-on-one, or is there some special technique that you use in communicating with them?
Well, it really depends upon the child's age. In the past, my wife and I we brought our own children in, and we've explained to the children who are older. Some of the children who are younger, we have explained to them ourselves. I guess it really depends upon the circumstance of the child. But if at all possible, if you can include your own children in the discussion, because children are excited. My own children are excited. Your own birth children are excited. This is a very exciting time. So if the foster children can see your own children's excitement, that'll build on their own. That'll increase their own. That'll help them capture some of that magic, some of that seasonal magic.
Mm-hmm. Good point. Well, let me ask you this question. There's always that sadness that they feel about missing their families. What do you do? Do you do special? Do you make special accommodations for them to see their families, or how do you work with that so that you can incorporate the biological families into their current holidays?
Right. Great question. Visitations can be difficult as it is. So during this holiday time, you really want to be compassionate of their own feelings. These children can go into a deeper type of grief, a deeper type of loss during this holidays time. So if you have the opportunity, and if it's a positive opportunity to meet with their birth parents or biological family members, if they have the opportunity to do so, I would absolutely encourage it. If you can't, send them cards. Maybe you can sit down with your foster child and you can make some homemade Christmas cards. Or you can talk to your foster child about what would your mother or father like for Christmas? What kind of gifts, what kind of presents can we give them? You can, of course, call them. Maybe they can make some Christmas cookies, or cut out some Christmas cookies, and maybe make a Christmas cake. But really allow the child to focus some of his attention on his birth family members and try to share some of that excitement with those birth family members. We have to remember that the biological family members, they're suffering as well. They are feeling grief as well. So we want to lift them up as well. But part of the job of a foster parent is not only to help the child in need, but to help the parents as well. So if we can lift both up during this celebratory magical time, that's a win-win for all.
Do you have some examples of some special traditions that you've done in the past where you've been able to incorporate the families and really, made them connect during the holiday season in a special way?
Absolutely. We, every year we do a few things at our house. My wife's from Australia, so we are able to incorporate some Australian Christmas beliefs as well as some American Christmas beliefs.
Well,
although one
nice.
of the odd things about Australian holidays at Christmas time is it's summertime there. So, Santa Claus, of course, comes with shorts, and he rides, his sleigh is pulled by 6 white boomers. Did you know that about 6 white boomers? You know what 6 white boomers are? Snow white boomers? They're kangaroos.
Oh.
Yes.
Well, in Florida, he's riding a dolphin, so.
Oh, of course. Well, every year, what we do is the day after Thanksgiving, my son and I will go and we'll cut down our own Christmas tree. And my wife will spend the time with the girls, and they decorate the house. They get the music set up. They'll make some Christmas cookies. In the past, my son and I have taken our foster boys as well to cut down that tree while my wife works with the foster girls. And they have made some Christmas cookies. They made some special Christmas cookies for those birth parents, and we're able to bring those Christmas cookies to their birth parents at a visitation time along with a homemade Christmas card. And then one year, we actually had our own children, along with the foster children, sing Christmas carols to the birth parents. And I tell you what, there was not a dry eye in the room for that. That was wonderful.
Oh, well, that's very nice. Very nice. You know, I had collected a couple quotes, and I wanted to share a quote from a foster team just related to their feelings about the holiday season. And he said, "Holidays are hard even when you have found new family because you still feel awkward and your mom and dad are not there. So it is easier. It still makes you sad because you are reminded of what you don't have."
Absolutely right. Christmas and those holidays is absolutely a reminder of what they do not have. Because when a child in foster care is in my own home and my children are opening up the presents and they are giving mom and dad a hug, that foster child is going to be reminded that he is not with his family. You know, they don't want to be in my home. They don't want to be in the foster parent's home. More than anything else, they want to be back with mom and dad. And this is a reminder that they are not with mom and dad. So it is a time of sadness, absolutely.
Right, right. And I think, like you said, if you can make those extra efforts during the season to reach out to the biological parents, it makes it better for both of them to be able to enjoy the season more and to focus on some good times with your family and then also something special with their family. What do you do, John, to prepare your extended family? Because I know that, you know, most families have outside family members come over, grandparents, aunts, uncles, cousins, and you know, they know your foster parents, but what do you do to help prepare them, like, hey, we're doing this holiday festivity at our home and we're including the foster children? Is there something special you do?
You mean when crazy old Uncle Herman comes over with all of his crazy kids? Yeah, absolutely. You need to prepare your children. Because it can be a wild time, especially if crazy Uncle Herman is really crazy. So you want to do a few things. First of all, you want to prepare your own foster children that there's going to be visitors over there. And if you do have one of those crazy Uncle Hermans, or maybe you've got old grandma or Aunt Ethel who likes to pinch all the kids on the cheek and give the children a pair of knitted socks, and she's got, plastering all the kids with lipstick. You got to prepare your foster children for that because it could be a very, very wild time. If there's a lot of noise in the house, those holidays is a time where the noise level really increases, particularly in my house. So you want to prepare them to let them know that things are going to be a little bit different, but they still need to remember right and wrong, making the right choices, et cetera, et cetera. So prepare them for that. At the same time, you also need to prepare your own relatives. So I have some relatives myself who don't always remember the children in foster care in my home during the holiday times. And that can be very, very uncomfortable. It can be very, very awkward for everybody involved. So you need to remind your own relatives and the people who come over that these are foster children during a very difficult time. And the children are considered part of your own family. For particular, my own foster children, we consider them my own family. So if my own children get 5 presents from grandma and grandpa, I would expect that the children in foster care would get 5 presents from grandma and grandpa. You need to make that clear. At the same time, grandma and grandpa may not bring gifts for your children in foster care, so it's pretty important that you have some backup presents already wrapped up behind the closet door or whatever it may be that you can bring out just in case. That should be the case.
That's a good point, because it would be so disappointing for a child if they see the biological or let's say adopted child in the home receive a present from someone and they didn't. It could be very traumatic for them.
Absolutely can be traumatic for them. Absolutely. If little Johnny of your own family is opening up 10 presents and having a great time and the foster child gets 1 or 2 presents, that marked difference is going to be very, very clear to that child. That child is considered different and perhaps not worthy of enough presents, or not loved, or not appreciated, or not part of the family. And that distance is going to be the distance between he and his biological family members is going to be felt even greater. So that child may sink into even further feelings of grief and loss. So have those extra presents already wrapped. In my own house, my children used to ask, why did the children in foster care get more presents than we do, Mom and Dad? And my wife and I would tell these our own children? Well, remember where they came from. See, there have been, for many kids in foster care, this could be their very first Christmas. It could be their very first Christmas that they've celebrated. They may not have opened up a present before. I have a boy in my house right now who's 11 years old. We had his birthday party for him last month. He had never opened up a present in his life. So these children in foster care may never have had a true Christmas or a true Hanukkah or a true Kwanzaa, whatever the tradition the religion that you celebrate. So we try to make, my wife and I, we try to make our own foster children's Christmases extra special because it could be their first and last one for quite some time. We want to make it a magical day for these children, a day that they remember, a day where they forget their own feelings of trauma and grief and loss and just embrace the day and embrace being a child.
That's fantastic. I couldn't agree more. Do you guys do something special to manage the chaos during the holiday season? And look, as foster parents, without the holidays, our lives are very chaotic. Working and sports and school and case manager, guardian ad litem, therapist visits, and it's just crazy schedule as it is. And then add on top of that all the extras, the shopping and the school plays and church functions and just all these things we have going on. What do you suggest in just being able to manage the timing of everything and the chaos in your life during the holidays?
Well, I would encourage foster parents to do what my wife and I do, and that is to embrace the 32-hour day. Yeah, we live 32 hours every day. Otherwise, we can never get everything done. Unfortunately, we only have 24 hours, and we don't get half the things we want to get done. When I'm transporting 9 kids here and there, we run absolutely ragged. So, of course, you're absolutely right in that. So, what do? You just have to take it day by day with these children, and if you have your own children at home, you just have to remind them that things are going to be different. Things are going to be a little bit stressful, and just not get too worked up about things that are out of your control. As foster parents, we must be flexible. We have to be flexible. If you are on a rigid schedule and you have children in foster care in your home, I certainly don't know how you do it, because there are unexpected little traumas or unexpected little outbursts, unexpected little moments of grief or guilt that are just going to pop up from time to time. But on the other hand, you need to have a plan. As someone who's worked in the educational field for 20 years, I'm on a 2-week Christmas break every year. So there are going to be those moments of downtime where I have to do something with my foster children. Now, growing up in Michigan, which I was, 2 weeks during Christmas vacation, that was a time spent inside because there was snow up to your knees or your waist or your shoulders, whatever it may be. So you spend a lot of time indoors. So foster parents need to have something prepared, something planned for these children to do during the Christmas holidays. This is a wonderful time for them to work on some skills that they may not otherwise have. For example, this is a great opportunity for these children in foster care to learn some money managing skills, or maybe some cooking skills, some cleaning skills. When children age out of foster care, more often than not, they do not have money skills or money managing skills. They do not have cooking skills or cleaning skills. So what a great opportunity to work on those. Maybe work on the child's life book. Maybe help them create some hobbies or interests. Maybe take them to the museum. Maybe take them to the public library and work on their reading skills. You can look at that 2-week break as a wonderful opportunity for your foster child to grow in many different areas, both socially and educationally.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that's some very good tips. One article I read really gave the tip also of just sometimes having to say no. There are so many opportunities thrown at you, and we tend to want to be perfect parents and overdo and say, yes, we'll go to this function, yes, we'll go to that Christmas party, yes, we'll go to this. And sometimes you have to just plan some downtime, just maybe sitting around watching a Christmas movie, just not running around and minimize the chaos in the house. At least that's what I try to do, because I can only take so much chaos.
You're right. It's funny you mentioned that. I'm just about to take 9 children to Disney World next week. 9 children. 9 children
to Disney World. You will, during the holidays, yes, you will need a little downtime.
Right. And I was telling a 13-year-old foster child today, I was telling him, when you pack, make sure you bring a book or 2 with you. because there are going to be times when my wife and I just want to sit down, put our feet up, and read a book. And that's because we're going to need a little bit of downtime. So absolutely. And, it's interesting that you say about the word no. As a foster parent, I have learned that I have to embrace at times the word no, because I can't do everything. I can't be everybody, and I can't be at every place and everywhere throughout the Christmas holidays. So sure, embrace that word no at times, because if you take on too much, there's going to be pressure, there's going to be stress, and then it's not going to be good for the entire family unit.
Well, I learned a long time ago that every time I say yes to something, I'm saying no to something else. So
Great.
Every no technically could be a yes, because it's a trade-off. A no to going to this event is a yes to staying home and having one-on-one time with my child. So it's all how you look at it, right?
Absolutely. Bravo.
So, we're going to be running out of time here soon, but I was just curious, do you have any other special traditions, things that you'd like to add that help to create a special tradition for these children, something that they could even possibly take home with them when they're reunified to their parents?
Well, the traditions in my home are generally based upon the religious aspect of Christmas, as well as the family festive aspect of Christmas. As I mentioned to you, that we went Christmas caroling to the birth parents' family house. My own children and I and our foster children, we bake Christmas cookies one Sunday before Christmas, a Sunday before Christmas, and we will take a plate full of Christmas cookies to each neighbor in our neighborhood and sing them Christmas carols. And my children love it. The foster children love it. Christmas Eve, of course, we go to church, we come home, we open up one present each, and we get a pair of brand new pajamas for each child. For the foster children, they love it, because so many children have come to our homes. They come to the homes and they have very, very little. Sometimes they have no clothes at all. So those pajamas are something special for those children, a pair of pajamas and slippers. And then we'll have a plate full of chocolate chip cookies and hot chocolate Christmas Eve. And I have had I've had stories from previous foster children who have told me that that's something they have brought back to their own home. Those Christmas cookies and hot chocolate Christmas Eve. They thought that was very, very special. Something very simple, something very easy, but something that they remembered because it was a family time.
Those are some great tips, John. I appreciate that. One other question that just came to my mind. Do you have any special procedures or things that, words of advice that you would give to foster parents who want to travel during the holiday season?
That's a great question. It's a great question. Many families do travel. Sometimes they travel to another city. Sometimes they travel out of state. So what you need to do is you need to make sure that you have permission from your caseworker to do the traveling. For example, if you're traveling out of state, make sure you have all the paperwork and the documents that you need beforehand. Give your caseworker plenty of time, plenty of notice prior to your leaving, so you can have basically the permission. Inform your foster child that where you're going, why you're going there, what to expect, et cetera, et cetera. So if you have any travel plans, just make sure you check them with your caseworker first and gain their permission and gain the necessary information and paperwork that you need. Because if you don't want to stay at home because you didn't get that signed paper from the caseworker saying you can't leave.
Right, absolutely. Well, you don't want it to ruin your family plans, and on the same token, you don't want that caseworker wondering, where are those kids?
Right,
so
right.
That would be a problem. So good pointers there. So, okay, well, we're about to wrap up, and just wanted to say thank you once again to Dr. John DeGarmo for joining us, and we're going to link his article on how to deal with the holidays and make them special to this show. In addition, I've just got a few closing comments. First of all, everybody, we are always looking for your thoughts, your comments, your suggestions on topics that you'd like to see us have on this show. So please email us. We're going to put the email address and also our Facebook page right up here on the screen, so you can reach us either way, and we look forward to hearing from you. And everybody here at QPI and Just in Time Training wants to say thank you for all you do for our children. We hope that you have a wonderful holiday season with them and make it special for your family and for those children you care for.